Hey, M3 family, it's yours truly, Samantha McCray, also known as Officer Tony of the Samuel Lee Tony Senior Foundation, here with you for another incredible episode of M3 Live. So, this is where we feature Black professionals to share their expertise with you, our beloved Black businesses, to help you guys continue to flourish in whatever it is that you are doing. So, before we get started today, let's not forget to share some exciting news from Melanated Money Mondays. If you are a Black business owner, make sure you visit the new website to subscribe and join the Black Business Directory. You are not going to want to miss out on that opportunity, y'all. Monthly subscriptions are just $20 a month, and annual subscriptions are $189 a year. So we all know this is a write-off. So why not take advantage of this opportunity at such a low cost to get the exposure in front of so many people that probably are looking exactly for you. All right, now I want to remind you about the mission that I'm attached to with the Sam Tony Foundation. We are a police-based youth mentorship organization. And what that means is that the kids that I met on patrol as an officer have been some of the best kids that I've worked with. And we want to continue being able to reach out to more of them and just spend more time with these kids, mentoring them both morally, educationally, and professionally. And we need your help to do so. So please visit the website at samtoney.com and get involved to some kind of capacity, whether a volunteer, a donor, or just someone to kind of help us share the message. All right, with that being said, let's introduce our expert for today's show. Today we have with us Sekiya Johnson, and I am so ready for this. I'm ready for all of these segments, okay, because I'm learning so much, and I hope that you guys are taking away some great nuggets to push you forward in your businesses. But get ready to dive into the world of finance today, all right? Joining us, Sekiya Johnson. She's a Navy veteran and she's an expert in business credit and funding. Woo, too heavy topic. And she shares some invaluable tips for financial success. So, as we all know, that can be the thing that makes or breaks us in this world, okay, of starting a business, launching a business, maintaining one. So let's get started. Our topic today, personal and business credit. There's none of us that shouldn't be watching this segment today, okay? So, Sekiya, welcome to our show, dear. I'm so excited to have you. And I just want to fire off with you right away. I have a question, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
The first thing we want to know is, does business credit affect personal credit and vice versa? Can you give us the 411? Walk us through this.
All right. So, does business credit affect personal credit? All right. So, the broad answer is no, it doesn't, as long as you don't go delinquent, right? So, when you're dealing with companies like Amex, Discover, Visa, MasterCard, they do require you to personally guarantee your business financing, your business funding, whether it be a line of credit or a credit card, right? So that they will run a credit check on you. And then everything else, all your credit line and everything is just reported to your business. So as long as you stay current, paying your bills, everything's good. But as soon as you go delinquent, that's when they'll show delinquent on your personal credit, right? So as long as you're in a habit of paying your bills on time, and I do understand that things happen, like the biggest thing that happened to us in recent years, the pandemic, and people, businesses went under, lots of businesses went under. And so that would affect their personal credit as well as their business credit. And so, yes, business credit can affect your personal credit if you go delinquent. Now, does personal credit affect your business credit? And that's absolutely, right? So, especially as a small business owner, when you are applying for these lines of credit, credit cards, what have you, there are different steps or different vendors that allow certain things, right? So you have your starter vendors, which are companies that will extend you credit, knowing that you're a startup company or you have new business credit. And so those are like more like your Ulines, your Quills, those type of companies that'll extend you credit even if you haven't been in business too long. The more you step up in tiers, so you got starter credit vendors, and then you got your store credit vendors, which are like your Office Depot, your Staples, your Walmarts, and then you go up to like you get cars and credit cards, so have you. The more you go up, the more your personal credit plays a vital part in the credit that gets extended to you. So when I consult with people, I always say, you have two ways that you can build business credit, right? You can go, if your personal credit isn't that great, we can start with the starter vendors and build up from there as you work on your personal credit. But if your personal credit is great, there's no need except for to establish those lines of credit on your business credit report to start with the starter vendors. If you can go ahead and apply for the Amex, the Discover, the Visas, the MasterCards, because typically when you are applying for your business, you're going to get 5 to 8 times more money than you would on the personal side, right? So whatever your highest credit limit is on your personal side, say it's $10,000, you can expect to get a 50 to 80,000 credit limit on your business side, and that's based off of your personal credit. So your personal credit does play a major role in business credit when you start going to get funding and lines of credit from sources like American Express or even the banks. So yes, personal credit definitely affects business credit.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I interpret all of that for our audience to mean that you basically got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run.
Right. And so I always encourage, if my client, if their personal credit isn't the best, while they're building their business credit, they should also be working on their personal credit, right? Because, most people don't look at their personal credit until they need something, right? You're ready to buy a car, you're ready to buy a house, or something of large significance that requires you to have credit, period. It may not be the best credit, but you have to have credit established. And so that's why I focus mainly on, I love the fundamentals, right? Understanding what credit is, understanding how to build your credit score, understanding how to read your credit report, because that is the foundation to going and securing different lines of credit, whether it's for yourself or for your business. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that leads me to my next question for you. The biggest misconception about credit that you've seen would be what?
That I don't need credit. Right?
I figured you were going to say that.
And I mainly see that from people that have been burned due to lack of knowledge, right? And so you went to college, they was giving out t-shirts to open credit cards, you was just swiping and not paying any bills. And so your credit, you didn't know what was going on. Credit took a nosedive. You went to go get a car, get a house, and it was like, nah, you can't get either because your credit is horrible, or you have no credit. And so a lot of people that I've seen that really shun credit are the people that have went in a hole with credit, dug themselves out that hole, and then swore off credit cards, for the rest of their life. I see that mainly with a lot of Dave Ramsey followers, because that's what he preaches, right? Don't live on credit, pay everything in cash if you have it in cash. But this is not the economy for that, right? That could have done well back in the 90s, early 2000s. But if you see, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the news, how the world is moving cashless, right? Mm-hmm. And so You can be like, okay, well, then I have my debit card. That's fine. But 9 times out of 10, if your debit card gets compromised, the bank's going to be like, sorry, nothing we can do. If your credit card gets compromised, the bank is going to help you get that money back or refund that money and like close out the account, send you a new card. You know why? Because that's their money, right? So they're not quick to protect your money. Whatever you swipe that debit card, we can't really help you. You swipe that credit card, and that's our money. So we're gonna do everything we can do to protect our money. So yeah, people thinking that you don't need credit, that has been the biggest flawed thinking that I've found. And then basically, ignorance towards credit. Not knowing, how credit works, and like I said earlier, not thinking about credit until you need it, right? And so one of the songs out today, Tomorrow Too, with Glorilla and Cardi B, and there's a part in this song where she's like, she ain't worried about credit. That's why, she got tomorrow. I don't sing that part, right? I'm worried about my credit, right? Today and tomorrow, I want my credit on point. So I'm like,
y'all, she full up. She full up, y'all. She full up.
I'm real silent on that part because I see what you're saying, but nah, we gonna check that.
Not stop mid-verse, sis.
Mid-verse.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because, I agree with you. Dave Ramsey, for a long time, his principles, have helped some people, but times are changing, and you gotta be willing to change with the times. And that is definitely more of an old school way of doing things. Like you said, this is not the economy for that. There's a lot of benefits. If you have the money to pay the credit card off or to pay your balances, use the credit card, because credit cards give you cash back. They give you interest. They give you fly miles. They give you, all these rewards that essentially build up, and it's free stuff, free money.
Yep.
And you just put yourself just that much more ahead when you just use cash differently, I would say.
Exactly.
And so I'm very glad that you brought that point up. I'm with you 100% on that. My last question for you would be, what were you going to say?
Just like you said, the key part of what you said is if you have the money to pay your balance, right? Mm-hmm. So what a lot of people do is, because credit is it's not tactile, right? It's different than dealing with money. You can see money, your money running out because you're like, all right, my money running out. With credit cards and debit cards, it's different because you're swiping. You're swiping your life away, right? And so what people, the bad thing is people get into the habit of overspending because they're not really seeing how that is affecting their balance until it comes time to pay the bill. The great things with credit cards is that you can carry a balance, right? That's also the bad thing with credit cards, is you can carry a balance because now you're paying interest on that, whatever you bought, that meal that you bought, you're paying 20% interest. And that meal long gone, right? It's always recommended to don't put more on your credit card than you can cover. And me, I put everything on my credit. I'm still trying to figure out how to pay my mortgage and my insurance bills because they don't take credit cards, right? There are services that offer you so you can pay things that don't take credit card as bills, but the fees involved with using those services kind of outweigh the benefit of the service. But other than that, like I've told sailors over the years, you put everything on your credit card as long as you can pay it off. If you know you can't trust yourself to pay it off, or pay it off at the end of the month or pay it off when it's due, then every week you go in and you pay that balance down, right? And so you have to train yourself to, like you said, pay what you use. If you have the money for it, pay it. It's not free money because you got to pay it back. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, I got a question for you, but I think you already answered it. So if you ready for a curveball, let me know. But
I'm
my
ready.
last question was, you ready? So you know what? You already answered this. I was gonna ask what's the best way to establish business credit with not so great personal credit, but I do think you alluded to that earlier on, which was to go with like the smaller vendors like Uline and some of the other ones that some of us may be getting magazines sent. I know I get a Uline magazine about this thick like every quarter
Every month.
because they know that I own a couple of businesses, so they're
Right.
trying to like just steal, and I'm like, yo, no, I'm not way past that now. So that would be the way to start. But my curveball to you would be, before you go, tell us what is one of the, I guess, best kept secrets you can give us when it comes to business credit.
All right. So I would say one of the best kept secrets. Well, okay. So
Y'all, she thinking that means she got a few. So you need to hit up sis after this segment. After this segment, I'm telling y'all now, I know these things. She's thinking way too hard. That means she's got a bucket of them to share. And we don't have enough time, so y'all hit her up after this segment. Go ahead and fire us off one good one.
All right. I'm trying to think the best. One of the best. All right, so you want one of the best, like establishing your credit profile, or after getting business credit?
Ooh, let's go with establishing your credit profile.
Okay, so I would say one of the best kept secrets is, all right, so you got, just like on the personal side, you have 3 major companies on the business credit side, right? That's Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. Equifax is a pain to get them to update anything, just like on the personal side, right? And so the best way or the easiest way to get a credit line reported to, I'm gonna give you 2. To get a credit line reported to all 3 is you go to nav.com and you sign up for their business boost account, right? So that will allow you to, just like with personal credit, if you're working on personal credit, you should be monitoring it. If you're working on your business credit, you should be monitoring it. So nav.com, that business boost account, will allow you to monitor your credit while building your credit. And they will also report the trade line to all 3 bureaus. Right? And with the business boost account, you can monitor your personal credit as well, right? So you're not having to pay for separate subscriptions to different places. You can do it all in one with that one account. So boom, you're knocking out your business, you're knocking out your personal, because we're working on both, right? And then the second one, and this is for business and personal as well, ecredible.com. That's ecredable.com. They offer to report to business lines, and personal lines. So like you pay your utilities. People pay utilities all the time. That's not on your credit report unless you go delinquent, right? And so what eCredible does is it allows you to report your utility bill, your phone bill, things of that sort to your personal side. And for your business bills, it has to be in your business name. So if you have an account like with Uline or Quill, Granger, Fumin, or any of those vendor accounts that's not reporting to all of the credit bureaus for the business side, you hook them up with eCredible, and eCredible will report them to all 3 business bureaus on the business side.
See, y'all, I knew sis was going to do us right. See, I'm so glad I asked you that because, I done got caught up in that. I learned something today. Listen, one of the first accounts I started for my nonprofit was with Verizon. I opened up a business phone account with Verizon, and I put all my phone lines under my business. And I never knew. It was never reported to Nav. I downloaded Nav and it was my business credit was great, but my phone, my business, my only account, my first and only account was never on there. And I could have did it with Incredible. I could have got credit
That's
for
right.
all those years that Verizon got my money. So man, you definitely did us a solid, sis. Well, listen, y'all, like I said, hit her up. I'm sure she's gonna monitor the comments. She's gonna be ready for y'all to engage with her. What a joy it's been to have you today, Sekiya. And
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much
much.
for sharing with us your expertise with myself, with the family. Are there any final remarks or things you want to share before you go?
Definitely, start looking at your personal credit. If you aren't, first thing to do would be to download your credit report, get familiar with your credit report, and if you're aspiring or a small business owner, looking for funding, start working on your business credit, and the sky's the limit. Once you have your
Awesome.
your personal credit and your business credit, all you really need is an 80 paydex score from Dun& Bradstreet, and you good to go on the business side. That's with
So,
not
so
that's with non-traditional funding. Now, when you go to like banks and the SBA, they're more traditional. They want your first blood of your firstborn. So that's a different different
your left
conversation.
kidney.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what Dun and Bradstreet is, Google it, but also hit your girl Sekiya up. She will explain all of that to you. You guys don't hesitate to reach
Absolutely.
out to her. She's got the expertise for you. All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much again for your time. And that's all the time that we have today, guys. This was a heavy topic. I wish we had more time for y'all, but we will see you on the next episode next month for another yet brilliant discussion with another Black expert. So thank you to everyone tuning in. We want you to keep the discussion going in the comments and share this video with your friends, share it with other business owners that are outside of Melanated Money Mondays. And we will catch you next time. This is Samantha McCray.